Yo, what's happening, people? It's Merlin. I'm joined by Paul Podge. Paul, thanks for coming, my brother.
No worries, mate.
How you been, my guy? Been good?
Been all right, yeah, man. Just been fucking trying to do as much content, more MMA content. Hopefully, our predictions this time around are a little bit better.
I know.
Last
I was
time
just
we
gonna
got
start. I was
absolutely
just gonna
rinsed.
say. I just need to put a little apology out because we were wrong, weren't we, Paul? Islam.
Mate, we weren't not like it wasn't that we were wrong. We were very wrong. We weren't
Very
even
wrong, but
close.
he didn't do nothing to show us that he did. That you know what I mean?
Mm.
Nothing to like. As every other pundit said, like he wasn't. You know what I mean, Paul? We went with
Yeah, no,
every
like
emotion.
in hindsight, obviously it looks worse, like just because of how the result ended. But what Oliveira was doing, he couldn't really knock what he was doing either. Like, obviously, I think we was probably still disrespecting Makachev a little bit, but he hadn't faced anyone that was, at the top. Like, he had some
Yeah,
very, very impressive wins, but he wasn't fighting anywhere near the guys that not Poirier, sorry, that Oliveira
Oliveira's
was
from.
fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So this time, hopefully, we get less hate to the Paul. You know what I mean? Because we did get a lot of hate, but I thought
Nah,
it was
but fuck
hilarious.
that though. Do you know what it is? Yeah, bro, you can't let that shit get to you. Like at the end of the
I
day,
thought it was
got us
hilarious. I was
views,
just reading the comments,
got us
going,
views. The
"This is
comments were
fucking
fucking
great."
funny. Like
Yeah,
you should. I was saying we should name if we're gonna start doing this regularly. We should name it like the casual show because that's what we got called. We just got called
yeah,
casuals every other comment. I like there was one. There was a few. There was casuals, which was the main one that we got called. Then there was the McGregor fanboy podcast, which I thought was pretty funny.
yeah. I thought that was
And
hilarious. It's like
then
when McGregor's fanboys get together and do a podcast. It's
yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah, exactly.
hilarious.
And then
Get me as
there
bitches.
was another one that I liked. It was more aimed towards me, but it was bald guy seems to be taking this one a bit personal, which I thought was pretty funny.
So anyway, Paul, we're going to be predicting. Well, doing a little preview, trying to give our little predictions in on UFC 281. Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. Fucking hell. Alex
Fucking hell.
Pereira.
Come on, lad.
I know,
Alex Pereira.
I
Alex
know.
Pereira.
Alex Pereira. So, we're better to start than the start of the card. Oh, where do you want to start, Paul? Do you want to start with Israel and
I
work
reckon.
down, or do you want to
Yeah. I reckon start from the top, go top to bottom.
start from the Israel? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, 2-0 up. Kickboxing, completely different game in Paul.
Yeah, and I mean those two fights that he won as well. The first one was kind of a robbery. The first one, Adesanya won that fight. I think everyone can agree that. The second fight, obviously, Adesanya got knocked out. But up until that knockout, he was schooling Pereira. But
Yeah, just
obviously,
getting paced up.
you still can't. I mean, you can say. I mean, how many times that happened in a fight? Oh, he was schooling him, but he still ended up getting knocked out. He got caught. It was a fucking beautiful finish from Pereira. So you can't really knock that. Even though Adesanya was winning the fight, he did get knocked out. So
Yeah,
there is credibility there. I mean, you've seen Pereira, even though he's only had 3 fights at the UFC, the 2 knockouts that he's had, the power is on show. Like he has got
especially the one
serious.
against
Oh,
George
that
today.
left hook is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? But no, it's just the power that he's got in the Paul. He's got ridiculous power, and he like, as you say, that left hook. And as Joe Rogan says, this guy's made out of mahogany. You know what I mean? He just looks, and if you look at them together, yeah, he just looks a lot thicker, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
looks more muscly. Like don't get me wrong, I've heard a lot of stuff that Israel's coming in looking wham this year. This fight, he's looking proper wham. But
Yeah, Pereira. I think
uh,
it's fair to say Pereira's the bigger guy.
yeah, but the thing is, they're both the same in height, and Israel's got a better reach. Yeah,
Mm.
but when as we're saying, like if you're looking at him, yeah, he's the more bigger, stockier fella. You know what I mean?
I think when you're looking at this fight, obviously Pereira's not had a lot of MMA experience. Pereira, unbelievably technically gifted, but I think the technical side probably favors Adesanya. I think he's more technically gifted, especially in MMA. Probably got more weapons to use.
Yeah,
I was just watching that pick from Wonderboy Thompson from Mike Owens, and I think he nailed it perfectly. Um, Pereira, unbelievable. I think his MMA experience might be the detriment in this fight. I mean, I think it's going to be a. Do you know what I'm worried about? Actually, the only thing that I'm worried about going into this fight, and I hope I'm wrong, I'm not saying that I think it's going to happen. I'm just saying I think it's a possibility that it could happen. I just hope it's not a fucking boring fight, because I could, even though I don't want it to happen, I can still see them both being a bit like not wanting to take as many risks because they both know how dangerous they are.
That feeling out process, like Rose Namajunas versus Julia Carlos Boozer.
Carlos Boozer, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, the feeling out stage could go on the whole 5 minutes, couldn't it? You know, the whole 5 rounds, it could easily. But I don't think it will.
I hope not. I don't think it will. I'd like to hope not. I want to fucking see just an absolute war, just them both. Like, yeah. I feel like there's an element that a lot of people have been saying as well, where Pereira has kind of done a bit of a Paulo Costa, like he's kind of acting how Paulo Costa was acting before the Adesanya fight. He's talked a lot of shit. I mean, his trolling game has been on point. I mean, the photo with Elsa the other day in Times Square, I thought was fucking really good, to be honest. Adesanya has definitely been the more quiet one. But I just feel like, you know, I'd even go to say that there's also, I mean, obviously they're still in the fight, but I do feel like a lot of people have been disrespecting Adesanya going into this fight. Maybe not just Pereira, but like a lot of fans, especially just because that Adesanya got knocked out once. Everyone's kind of overlooking how great Adesanya's been so far. I mean, he's lost once in the UFC. He's undefeated. Well, that was his only loss in MMA, and that was against Jan Blachowicz, which
that's where he's no one else in his weight class.
No one else.
And then that's why
he's cleaned the division.
Fast track.
Yeah, I mean, the second fight with Whittaker was probably the closest fight that he's had. You know, up there as well with the Gastelum fight. You know, he got hurt in the Gastelum fight, but that was a fucking masterclass. That was like a pure vintage Adesanya performance. I just feel like, you know, there's a lot of people are giving Adesanya shit recently because, you know, he's not had a finish since the Paulo Costa fight, I think it is. You know, especially because he talks about how he's going to be doing all this shit and he's going to be putting on all these mad performances and then he's getting decision wins.
That's which is saying he's selling wolf tickets, aren't he?
Yeah, but I just feel like this time is different. I just feel like not so much that there's a chip on his shoulder, or maybe there is, but I just feel like Adesanya is going to go out there feeling like he's got something to prove, which is dangerous for other fighters. I mean, I think he
actually does have something to prove.
He does have something to prove, but at the same time, he doesn't. Like, he's fucking one of the greatest middleweights ever. Like, he's on level with what Anderson did. Yeah, do you know what I mean? He's going to go down as.
I probably weighed that wrong. Not got something to prove. He's got revenge to get.
Yeah. You know I mean? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I do think there's. I think there's like when I say there's like the chip on the shoulder, I think it's like he wants to and he needs to kind of go out there and prove that he's the better striker than Pereira.
Yeah.
Just because he got knocked out.
So, do you know when you were mentioning before about Robert Whittaker? Paul, this is what I wanted to ask you as well. So, Alex Pereira, do you think he's better than Robert Whittaker?
Nah. I mean, I think 5 rounds. I think Whittaker. I mean, it's hard to say, but Whittaker has got a fucking chin. Even though he did get finished by Adesanya in that fight, he's still got a chin, mate. The guy went fucking 10 rounds with Yoel Romero. Like, Whittaker has got a chin. Yeah, he's got a chin, and he isn't like he's, you know, he had an amazing title run, and then unfortunately for him, he's just in the same era as Adesanya. But you know, Whittaker's probably the second best middleweight. In fact, I'd say he is the second best middleweight. You know, I think Pereira, for the story, has kind of been gifted this title shot. He had 2 fights against unranked opponents, and then the UFC were very smart, and fucking Sean Strickland is dumb as fuck for thinking that he could stand there and strike with Pereira. So that's why that fight happened. He was ranked number 4 at the time as well, so it's still a legit win. But I think if you have a 5-round fight, Rob Whittaker versus Pereira, I think that's a hard fight for Pereira. Okay, obviously, you can never just say flat out that he's going to win, but I think it's a much more, not much more. I just think it's a difficult fight. I don't think Pereira sails through that fight easily.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say him again. So this one, like, I don't see Alex Pereira is better than. I don't see him better than Whittaker. I don't see him better than Paulo Costa. Cannonier maybe not even. You know,
do you know what it is? Paulo Costa, I can see Pereira beating Paulo Costa in a fight. Paulo Costa is a good fighter, but I feel like his fight IQ compared to Pereira's is on a different level. And that's like no disrespect to Paulo Costa. Like I said, he's an unbelievable fighter, but I think if it was like a 5-round fight, him against Pereira, I think wins that.
Yeah, just because
I don't think Costa's like, you know, I think even though he deserves to be, you know, in the top half of the middleweight, top 10, I still don't. I think the gap between like a Costa and a Whitaker, like for example, Whitaker, they're fighting in is it February on the Melbourne card. I think Whitaker's going to win that fight easily, personally.
Yeah. See, I just want to because like when you got to look at it, the only way you can really look at it is who's Israel for? Like who's Israel for to the level of Pereira? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which category does he fit into? Does he fit into the Robert Whitaker category? Does he fit into Paulo Costa? Does he fit into the Cannonier category? You've got to try and, you know what I mean? And we realistically, we get to really find out what type of fighter he really is.
Yeah. In MMA at least, because I think he's got the experience, like he's got the top echelon experience in kickboxing, but obviously we know kickboxing and MMA are completely different.
Complete different, yeah. So let's get our little predictions in, Paul. So what are you saying?
For the like official prediction, Adesanya versus Pereira.
Yes.
Right, my heart says Adesanya on points, unfortunately. But fuck it, for the sake of being juicy and for the sake that I just want to see it, I'm gonna go Adesanya knockout or TKO. Maybe not a straight knockout, but I'm gonna go. Do you know what? My mate Josh put on an ACA the other day, right? And I laughed at it for being stupid. But the more I've thought about it, the more I thought, do you know what? It's not even a bad prediction. Round 4 TKO Adesanya.
Boom, boom, boom. I completely agree with you. Round 4 knockout Israel Adesanya. You've heard it here first, boys and girls. It really is like I've got a feeling, and it feels like it's set up for it. He's going to do the touching out process. He's going to, as they say, taking in that data. You know, keep trying to keep at the because he's going to have to use them leg kicks, like boom, as he does, like kick jab straight. You know what I mean? Like he's going to have to do this, and he's going to have to keep at the range, and then hopefully Alex Pereira is going to get a bit frustrated. He's looking 3 rounds down. He's going to have to go in with a knockout, and I think this is where Israel, and we might even see like a real vintage knockout like we did Robert.
I hope so,
and that's what I'm waiting. I'm honestly, that's what I can see. Like the way he knocked out Whitaker, I can see exactly the same sort of like slip, boom, boom. You know what I mean?
I think I'd be special. I think if everyone's been talking about how strong and powerful and how dangerous Pereira's left hook is, and then Adesanya finishes him with a left hook.
Yeah.
Or like a Brunson head kick straight, boom.
Yeah. See, like the only thing is he knocked them out in the 12-ounce gloves.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. The power favors. Like the 4-ounce gloves definitely favors Pereira, 100%. I think Pereira has got heavier hands, but technique versus power.
That's it, Paul. So I'm going to be over to the next fight now, Paul. 1 second.
Yeah.
We got
Weili Zhang. Is it Weili? No, it's not Zhang. It's Weili Zhang.
Weili Zhang, yeah. Versus Carlos Esposito, the champion, who, as we said before, came off of a championship fight, was probably arguably the most boringest fight, or at least championship fight we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Paul.
Probably one of the worst fights in UFC history.
Oh, while we're watching it, I was like that big enough to me compared to that going, listen, Fug Rose, she's like, because in my eyes, she's a bit of like an icon towards the women. You know what I mean? Like her story is unbelievable, like what she's fought through. So I was like that, bigging up a story, and it was like a bit. I felt disappointed because the way I bigged her up so much. You know what I mean, Paul? I was like,
I feel like everyone was like that though. Everyone was talking about Rose. I mean, bro, she beat Ioane and Jacek twice. She beat Zhang Weili twice. You know, she finished both of those and then went to the distance. Like she proved that she can do it everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought, you know, she's going to go on like a Valentina Shevchenko run or an Amanda Nunes, and then
the new queen.
I mean, that's a whole different thing, though. I just think that's just a whole different conversation. I think Pat Barry is a big problem for Rose.
Yeah,
he's a fucking weirdo.
saying, look, listen to them, like all that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
he
that
was
a different
saying,
fight.
"Oh yeah, you're doing it right. Listen to the booze." Like, mate,
Yeah.
you're losing the fight. You're not doing fuck all.
Yeah, but I actually think that she's in trouble, and I think she might lose the title this year because honestly, Weili,
Carlos Barza.
yeah, Weili's. I
Oh,
think
mate.
she's just
Well,
off
yeah,
that
what's your
last fight as
prediction?
well. My prediction, I'm saying Weili by knockout and probably like the second round. I think she's
Yeah.
going to actually. I think she's got enough in the wrestling to snuff it, because that's where if Esparza wants to win this fight, she's going to have to take it down. But I don't think she's actually good enough to even be able to take Weili down. I think Weili's good enough, like to be snuffing it, keeping it to where she needs to be. And we've seen before, she's got speed, she's got power, she's got accuracy. She's basically she's like what you class as like the next generation fighter, isn't she, Paul? You know what I mean? Weili, like everyone thought, if it wasn't for Thug Rose, Weili would be like talking about like one of the greatest of all time. If it wasn't for Thug Rose doing that to her career, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for that head kick, we'd be looking at Weili going, she'd probably still be the champion if it wasn't for Thug Rose right now.
Yeah, she's on the Mount Rushmore of the women's strawweights. You got Joanna and Jacek, who
the queen.
You know what she does. She's the queen of the strawweights.
Yeah.
But what Rose did and who she beat, I mean, even though she didn't go on the same run because she lost to Andrade and now she lost to Esparza, I mean, the fact that she beat these women, and she beat Joanna when she was in her prime as well, knocked her out.
Yeah.
You know, in Madison Square Garden, and she knocked out Zhang Weili in what 40 seconds as well. Like she's got to be up, like she's got to be on the same level as Joanna, in my opinion. I think Zhang Weili has got potential, but she's not. I don't think her like GOAT status, if you like, of the strawweights is on the same level as Joanna. But Joanna and Rose, but that's just she's still got a long career. Yeah. So she's 33.
Yeah, she's 33. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Weili's, but I still think that's very young, Paul.
No, it's still young, but it's not like as young as I thought. I thought she was a bit younger than that.
Yeah, I think you come and she's still got, I'd say, 5 more years. 4 or 5 more years after it.
Yeah. I mean, how old's Amanda Nunes?
Amanda Nunes. Oh,
I feel like we've seen it in the male fighters fighting at a later age, but I don't feel like we've seen that many successful women fighters fighting past like 35 really. So that'd be interesting. But I think obviously Carlos Barza, she's the champion for a reason. 7 fight win streak. Fought some good fighters. But this is, even though obviously the last fight was the biggest fight of her career, this is now the biggest fight of her career. You know, Madison Square Garden. I feel like the stakes are higher. You know, she's the reigning champion, so she's got to defend. I can just see her crumbling to the pressure, to be honest. You know, Zhang Weili is not someone you want to be in there with when you're crumbling. And my casual prediction for this fight is Zhang Weili inside like 2-3 minutes. I think it's going to be just quick over and done with round 1.
Just putting the pace on like she did to the Joanna and Jacek.
Joanna and Jacek. And the way, but even like when she won her title in China, the way she beat Andrade after Andrade knocked out Rose. Mate, Andrade is not an easy fight. The way she just fucking steamrolled her, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I just feel like it could be something similar.
Yeah, I do agree. I just think, I personally thinking if it's up by the first round, it's definitely over by the second round in my eyes, Paul. Like, I just think, I'd say she's just going to put the pace on, and that's in my eyes is the route to win. Like, obviously, Carlos Barza's route is to try and take it down, but I think Weili. Well, have you seen the videos of Weili picking up Francis?
Mate, crazy! I saw that at the Performance Institute.
Yeah. So she's doing. Obviously, don't get me wrong. Francis is leaning a little bit over, which makes it a little bit easier. But still, you realize that if you're doing that, then.
Did you see the video of Zhang Weili on pads?
I haven't seen it from the training session. But
wow!
All you got to look at that spin back fist to get the last knockout. So
yeah.
So anyway, Paul, predictions are in for that one. You think first round knockout? I'm saying second round knockout, if not the first. Now we could be on to they say it's the people's main event. Yeah, any other card, it's the main event in it, Paul. We have got Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. Fireworks are going to be blasting all night.
Oh,
What are your
mate.
predictions?
That is an
Well,
unbelievable
let's
fight
talk
from the
for
matchmakers. You know, Dustin Poirier, you know, lightweight legend. It's crazy to think how good Dustin Poirier is.
Yeah.
And he's
Never
never
had the
obviously
belt.
he's become interim champion, but he's never been undisputed.
Yeah.
That's fucking mental. That just shows how hard it is to become a UFC world champion. You know, Michael Chandler, what an amazing career he's had. You know, so successful in Bellator, come to the UFC, you know, fought his heart out, had, you know, every fight that Michael Chandler's been in the UFC.
Left it out,
Incredible.
left everything in the octagon, Annie.
But you know, there was an interesting stat that I didn't realize until the other day. I think I was actually watching an interview from Dustin Poirier. You know, Dustin Poirier has never lost 2 fights on the bounce. Like if he's lost a fight, he's always won the.
He always
the
rebounded well.
Yeah, and Chandler's 36, so Chandler's a little bit older. You know, he has taken a little bit of damage as well since he's coming to the UFC. Now, again, I'm not knocking Chandler because he's a great fighter. However, you look at the guys that he's beaten: Dan Hooker, Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, and not even a prime Tony.
Yeah, not even a prime Tony. I mean, look at how bad Tony was. I mean, the last fight. I mean, that fight should not have happened as soon as it did 4 months after that knockout. So that, I mean, but Tony was by far at the end of his you know, career. He's nowhere near like the boogeyman that he was. Is that the only 2 wins that Chandler's had? He's only had 2 wins in the UFC. Yeah, exactly. And he's fought obviously Oliveira, had a good first round against Oliveira, but then got finished in the second round. Obviously he fought Gaethje, which is one of the fucking greatest fights in UFC history, which was a close fight, but
he just gave it away in the last round, though, didn't he, Paul?
He did. So I just feel like, as good of a fighter as Chandler is, I can't see anything other than a Dustin Poirier win. Now, I don't know if I can see a knockout in this fight, to be honest. I can just see it being a 3-round war. I think, again, my mate Josh, it's funny, I shouted his prediction a lot. He had Adesanya round 4, and then he had Poirier on points. And did I say Dustin Poirier round 4 then? Adesanya round 4, Poirier on points, and then Puel's the guy that's fighting Hooker on points. Which, do you know what, mate? A tenner returns over $2,000. That's not even a bad fucking bet.
It's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. But yeah, if you're watching this, Josh, yeah, it's not a bad prediction. It's not as bad as I thought it was initially. But yeah, I think I can only see a Poirier winning this, to be honest. What do you think?
See, right. It depends on the game plan. Obviously, we see Michael Chandler every fight going in, wanting a war. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he's just signed an 8-fight contract. Paul. So
8-fight contract?
I'm pretty sure he's just signed an 8-fight contract.
Hell.
Which is meaning
they're just locking him in.
He now has to think, am I going to go in for 8 more wars, or should I go back to my original background, which is wrestling? He's arguably, apart from Islam, he's probably the best wrestler in the weight class apart from Islam. Do you wait to win for me, for Michael Chandler? Obviously, I agree with you on the Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier outstrikes him. Even maybe if it goes to the ground, you might see the jiu-jitsu coming into it, because he has got a good jiu-jitsu, Dustin Poirier. But I think Michael Chandler might try and get him down a few times, you know, Paul. And that might be, if it does go to decision, I think that might be the route for him to win.
See, Chandler's wrestling is incredible. I just don't think he's, you know, he's built the name of Michael Chandler being an exciting fighter to watch in the UFC for one reason, just because he stands and he bangs. I can't see Chandler trying to shoot for takedowns and trying to hold Poirier down, to be honest. I just think they're both going to just stand and bang. I just think it's going to be.
That's what I'm open for. I want to see that as well, Paul. I honestly want to see that as well. But
I would agree. I mean, like, I mean, bro, Dustin Poirier is not an easy person to just take down. So I think even if he
No,
tried the wrestling, I think it'd be interesting to see how close that those exchanges were in the grappling. Poirier is fucking unbelievable inside in the clinch. So we'll see. I think my prediction, Poirier.
I
Do you know what?
I see. Paul, I want to agree with you, and I actually do. Yeah, I actually really do agree with you. But as I say, I can't see Michael Chandler taking him down, and I can see Michael
Really?
Chandler winning. I can see Michael Chandler winning by
So
points.
is that your prediction then? Say it with your chest,
Yeah,
mate. Chandler to win
Michael Chandler to win by
on
points.
points.
On points, yeah.
Yeah, I think the fight's most likely to go points. To be honest,
Yeah. But
I
if
think they're
not,
both too tough to be finished.
if not, I think he does get knocked. No, he got dropped by Tony's weekend. I can't see.
Yeah, he did, but bro, like it was more of like a flash knockdown. It
Yeah.
wasn't like he was wobbled and he was almost fucking
Yeah.
hurt. I mean, obviously he got finished by Oliveira pretty badly. That was a bad finish. Got
Yeah.
caught with a beautiful left hook, and then I mean, if there was to be a finish, I think it's definitely gonna be Poirier. Maybe like a
Yeah.
Poirier round 3. Do you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna change Poirier round 3. He's gonna finish Michael Chandler. That's my prediction.
See, I agree with you, but I'm also agreeing with myself. So it's either if he doesn't knock him out.
Nah, you can't be on the fence, bro. It's one or the other.
Listen. Yeah, so I'll stick with me finger. Michael Chandler out wrestles him and he wins by points.
Okay, mate. To be fair, like you were the only one that was saying the other day when we filmed that other time about Sean O'Malley. I mean, he didn't get a first round knockout, but he did. You were the only one.
No, but I did bet the decision. I put it because I was thought to myself.
Did you?
Do you know what? When I was thinking about it, because I actually did think, wow, Sean O'Malley's got 1 punch knockout, and then I remember that kid who he fought with the green hair. Can't remember his name.
Moutinho.
That's it. Yeah, and I thought, how many times he hit him and he didn't put him out? Yeah, I thought, nah, I've got to do decision, and I was right, but he did lose, didn't he, Paul? He did get beat, like he did. He got, and I actually feel a bit sorry for PTI. I don't even know where he's going to be going. I can see him going to 1, next, Paul.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with that.
Doing a bit of Muay Thai and doing the MMA.
I think he'll still stick to MMA. I mean, I don't think it was a robbery like people were making it out to be. I think that Peter Yan did win the fight.
Yeah.
But it was a close fight. Like, it wasn't like, oh my God, that was a 30-27 Peter Yan demolishing and he somehow lost the fight. Like, it was a close fight. Peter Yan won the second round, like, pretty obviously. Sean O'Malley, I thought, won the third, right, pretty obviously as well. And then obviously the first round was the closest. Now, Sean O'Malley did well striking, he was very busy. But even though Peter Yan didn't do much with his takedowns, he still got the takedown, still held like a little bit of control. So it's not like it wasn't just a takedown, he's straight back up. Obviously, Sean O'Malley did manage to get back up from those positions, but it was close. Like, I don't think it was. I mean, do you know what though? It's funny. Sean O'Malley almost got a takedown at the end of that first round as well. He didn't quite get it. It didn't quite count.
I was going to say, did he not get one? I thought he got one, but yeah,
I don't think it counted. No.
Yeah,
it was like that's what I mean. Like, if the Peter Yan takedowns were kind of like that, then I can kind of maybe make a point to say, okay, the Sean O'Malley probably won that round. But he did take him down, did have him against the cage, didn't do too much damage, didn't hold him down for too long, but he held him down enough for, I think, a strong takedown. Like, that's how MMA scored. If you get a takedown, you hold down for a little bit. Even if they get
pretty much won the round, haven't you?
Unfortunately, he got 2 takedowns that first round. I think it was 2 rounds, 2 takedowns.
So, talking about takedowns, the next fight, that's the only way to the route of winning for Frankie Edgar in this fight against Chris Gutierrez. Am I right to say? Right. The only way I can see him beating Chris Gutierrez is taking him down.
Mate, Frankie Edgar, absolute legend of the sport, accomplished so much. I mean, you were riling off all the guys that he's beaten. There's no one like Frankie Edgar. What he's achieved in the sport, he'll go down as a Hall of Famer. Had a phenomenal career. I just feel like he's been fighting for too long.
Way too long. 41. He should have retired.
Yeah, is he 41?
41 he is, yeah.
Obviously, this is his last hurrah.
Yeah.
Fighting
in his hometown.
Yeah, I just I mean, it's a poetic way to go out. I just don't think it's going to end well, though. He's been on the back end of some bad knockouts.
Brutals.
You know,
it was only this time last year that he was getting knocked out by Cheetos.
Yeah. It's always sad when fighters keep fighting for too long. And they don't know when to stop because they've just got that fight in them, you know. They don't want to give up. They don't want to hang up the gloves. You know, it's inside. They're still having good training sessions. They still think, oh, yeah, you know, I'm still with it. But
yeah,
I just think Frankie Edgar's time, it's over, bro. Like, he just needs to let go of it. Like, obviously, that's so much easier said than done, you know. Like I said, especially when you've accomplished so much in the sport. It's so easy, so much easier said than, okay, just call it a day. You know, that's his life. All he's known his entire life is fighting and competing.
Punching people in the face. That's it.
Yeah.
But do you see Tony Ferguson's career going exactly the same route, though, Paul? Like, when you look at it, like, Tony's, like, you know, is now lost streak. It's now stacking up. And if before he realises he's even left the UFC, he's looking at it, he's going, bloody hell, 7 fights I've lost or 8 fights I've lost on the bounce. And, you know what I mean? Looking at Frankie Edgar's career, and we're going, you know, he's lost to this guy. But actually, he's beat so many more.
Yeah.
But you only think about the ones who he's lost in that row. You know what I mean, Paul?
Yeah. I mean, that's like the recent memory, at least. Like, when he retires, like, maybe so, but, you know, any real MMA fan more, you know, when he retires, appreciate the legend of Frankie Edgar. I mean, what was the last win? Do you know who he beat last? And when was it?
His last win.
Give it a quick Google.
Right.
I can't remember the last time he won a fight.
It was Cub Swanson in 2018.
That's what I mean, bro. 4 years without a win in the UFC.
No, actually, sorry, I'm wrong. Pedro Munhoz, he beat in 2020.
Munhoz,
Pedro Munhoz decision.
And then Cub Swanson before it, was it?
Yeah.
And how many fights has he lost in a row? Is he on a 3-fight losing streak now?
Yeah, I think so, Paul. 1 second.
Yeah.
It's not like Wade loading properly. Yeah, so he's 41. And the guy Chris Gutierrez is 10 years younger than him. So I hate the way the
Chris Gutierrez is a good fighter as well. I've not seen a lot of him, but he's a good fighter.
Yeah, I hate the way the UFC do this, you know, Paul. Like, they feed the wolves, like, they feed the old wolf to the young wolf.
But at the same time, right, I agree. But you're still trying to convince the UFC that you're meant to be fighting. You're meant to be, you know, the UFC is the best of the best. If you're still in the UFC and there is some form of self-responsibility, if you're trying to convince everyone that you're still, you know, you're still one of the best in the world, you've got to prove it. Like, the UFC isn't somewhere that you can ride off into the sunset. Oh, we're going to give you a nice, because that's not what the UFC is about. The UFC isn't about giving you nice fights, because that's like boxing. We don't want to see that as MMA and UFC fans. We want to see the best fight the best. So even though I agree that it's not nice the way they were going to do Nate Diaz and Hamzat, that's too much. Like, that is too much. I agree. But bro, you can't be expecting to have an easy fight if you're trying to still say that you're one of the best in the world. So
you are right, and like, it's also like, it's a good thing for like the younger ones coming through who I don't like it, Paul. I'll admit I don't like it, because I feel like it is like you're literally sacrificing, like, you're getting sacrificed to the next generation. But to that next generation, when you see their record and you say, "I'm gone," he's beat him, and him. It looks good, doesn't it, Paul?
And
you've got a name like that in your career.
Yeah, and also, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not trying to sit here and say that Frankie Edgar is an easy fight. I mean, bro, the amount of experience that guy has got is ridiculous. It's just there comes to a point when you get to an age where your mind might be sharp, but your body's probably not in tune with it. So
I think his body will be miles off it, to be fair, Paul.
Yeah.
Especially like coming into this with after that, like his last couple of fights, losses, and I say he's took some fucking damage, mate. Like, especially off Chito Vera, that head kick, like it's like Tony Ferguson, where you're not the same after it. You're not.
No.
So, so the only way I can see him winning this fight is he has to get him to the ground. I want him to win. I do. I honestly, genuinely do want him to win.
Oh, mate, of course. That's the perfect story. New Yorker ending his phenomenal UFC career winning at Madison Square Garden. Doesn't really get any better than that.
But that, do you know what? What I've seen of Chris Gutierrez, they are something different. To be fair,
Yeah, mate.
what
Chris
I've seen,
Gutierrez is a good fighter. Like I said, I think this fight is more going to be about how, what can Frankie Edgar offer?
yeah,
If if the way he's turned up to his last few fights, if he's going to turn up like that, he's got no chance.
no chance at all. So,
And that's no disrespect to Frankie Edgar either, by the way.
Yeah. So what are you saying? You saying Chris Gutierrez, or are you saying Frankie?
Yeah, Chris Gutierrez. I mean, I don't know whether it's good. I'll just say Chris Gutierrez by points. I think Frankie Edgar, especially being his last fight, he'll probably just grit it out. But I think I could just like a 30-27 Chris Gutierrez.
Yeah, I'd say I hope Frankie wins, but I agree with you, Paul. I think the young one, as it normally is, the young one should always be winning. I'd say 41. You're well out your prime now. This kid's only just stepping into his prime, and I think Chris Gutierrez will win by a decision, if not knockout.
Yeah.
So right, this is the one you were just mentioning then. Dan Hooker versus, right, they don't pronounce the L in South America, so what's his name, Paul?
Is it?
Puelles.
No, it's not Puelles, it's Puelles. Fuck knows.
Right.
Don't take us on that.
He is a real beast, Paul, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got submissions, he's got the whole lot, he's on a very good win streak.
Is it a lightweight? The fight's at lightweight, isn't it?
Yeah, lightweight. So Dan Henderson's came back up. He's come back up, hasn't he? Or does he down?
The featherweight. Yeah, mate. I couldn't believe that he fucking ever made featherweight. Like, mate, I seen him that fight week. He's a fucking big guy, bro.
Yeah.
Fighting at 145.
He's got paced up though, didn't he, against Arnold Allen.
Yeah.
Them elbows were just ruthless. But how do you see it going, Paul? Because he's on this mad form where he's only lost to really good guys. But then you see this, he's as pretty much like before, he's been in the UFC for a long time now, Paul. Yeah. He had an unbelievable war, probably the best round ever against Dustin Poirier, round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the best rounds of all time. He's been in these absolute wars.
And still went 5 rounds as well.
Yeah. But then he's getting fed to these younger ones, you know what I mean, Paul? And this guy is he's a beast. So how do you see it going?
Do you know, I think the detriment, that has been caused to Dan Hooker is partly to blame for himself. I can see a lot of similarities in the way he is as a fighter to Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy was just taking fucking fights left, right, and center. Next week, I'll do it. Next one, 2 months break. There's just not giving yourself enough time to recover properly, and not giving yourself enough time to train and improve and work on things. So Dan Hooker, like you said, he's fought the best of the best. He's just had a bit of. I think there's bad luck isn't the right word to use, because that will be taken away from the opponents that beat him. But he's a good fighter. People forget that, and I think he's got a tough challenge ahead of him. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. However, I do feel like, what Dan Hooker's lost his last 3 or 4. Is it 4? I think he's lost his last 4.
Yeah.
But I think, all the City Kickboxing guys this weekend are
probably
going to have a good. Yeah, I think they're probably going to have a good night, for the team. I think when you're preparing for such a big card as a team, the City Kickboxing guys just seem like they're always in such good spirits, training hard.
Have you seen him in Israel? Have you seen him in Israel sparring together?
Oh, the one in Thailand. Yeah,
so when with the big bin, you got to go on the ground and then just take ground the pound sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, Claudio Puelles, I can't say his name. Unbelievable skill set. Unbelievable. He could be a real contender in the division. But again, kind of how we were just talking about Frankie Edgar, how I feel like the fight is, is going to go the way depending on, what Frankie's going to turn up and be like. I think it's kind of the same. I think Dan Hooker's got a lot more to prove than Claudio Puells. I'm going to call him Claudio because I'm just butchering his name every time I'm saying it. But I think Dan Hooker will come back, fight a hard 3-round fight. Show who he is, show what he's about, shut up a few of the haters, and I can see Dan Hooker getting his first win in a while back.
I disagree, Paul. I'm sorry, but
that's the whole point of a debate, bro. Come on,
it is. And I think Claudio, we're just going to call him Claudio now, yeah. Right. He's a much younger fighter, 26, yeah.
How old's Hooker?
30, one second. He is 32, right? As you say, Dan, he's 6 foot. Dan Hooker's bigger fighter, bigger reach.
He is taller than 6 foot, bro. I'm telling you that right now. He is bigger than 6. Man, I feel like all those. Mate, I feel like they try to say that fucking Sean O'Malley is like 5'10" or something. Sean O'Malley is over 6 foot.
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, he is over 6 foot, 100%. Sean O'Malley is almost as tall as me, and I'm just about 6'4".
I can see Dan Hooker getting submitted. I can see Dan Hooker getting submitted. Yeah, because like he submitted Clay Vida in Clay Guida. Yeah. First round. Right. He's got a lot of submission in his like most of the wins he's got is submission. Like he hasn't got no knockouts, so his ground game's very good. Dan Hooker's ground game is it great?
Well, it's just me and Charles were actually talking about the other day because I was like, oh, do you think Adesanya could show some ground skills in the fight? And Charles made the good point of saying, the city kickboxing guys, they're strikers.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't ever try and shoot for takedowns. Brad Riddell, it's just not their style of the gym.
How is Charles? Anyways, you're good.
Yeah, he's good. He's gearing up for his fight. He's fighting Matteo Ferroni again. The guy that he was meant to be fighting in summer, and the guy fucking pulled out on the day of the fight. The pussy.
Well, in Rome.
Yeah, but this is it. The rematch is in Rome again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that fight. It's gonna be a fucking good fight. But yeah. So what you were saying. So you think that Claudio is gonna take him down and submit? I mean, I can't disagree. Like you said, you made a good point. Dan Hooker's not got. His ground skills haven't really been on show, but that's just not the type of fighter he is. Claudio, obviously, that's his strong point in submissions. Dan Hooker's a good fighter, though.
He did well against Islam when Islam's trying to get him in the Kimura. And
he did as well as you can do against Islam Makhachev. I mean, it was a first round submission, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably was. We know Islam's fucking a beast, isn't he? But we're going to go on to the next fight, or
so yeah, what's your prediction then? Claudio submission.
I'm going Claudio submission. I can't say the round though, Paul. If it was to say a round, probably would be second.
Yeah, second round. Right. I'm going to go Dan Hooker on points.
Dan Hooker on points. Okay, so we've got.
Mate, I hope. By the way, all I've been thinking this whole time we've been recording. I fucking hope that we get some of these right because I'm going to make a massive TikTok and just tag it casuals.
Fucking
casuals. I don't feel like mate, do you know what it is with MMA, right, or with fight, more so MMA than boxing. But MMA is so fucking hard to predict. You can break down a fight to however much detail you want, but one thing can change in a fight, and you just fucking never know. Half these guys are going in there injured that you don't know about. There's so many elements. Like it's not. It's not the easiest thing to predict.
It was like must have been about a month ago. There was a fighter and his brother died in that week of the fight. And if I'd have known that, Paul, I would have whacked every single bit of money I had on that fighter.
I think I know who you mean. Was it Cody Statman? Was it Cody Statman? Statman, I think. No,
I think he beat the German fighter. But anyway, first round, he absolutely blitzed him, Paul. Yeah, and if I would have known
Cody Statman.
I knew that had happened because he came in there with a different level of focus. He came in there.
For sure.
If you can still fight after your brothers just died, yeah, Paul, you're in there, you're locked in, and there's no way you're losing that fight.
No.
You know what I mean, Paul? In my eyes, like you're coming in with as like going off Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson got beat by don't do this to me, Bubba Douglas or whatever his name was, yeah.
Douglas, Buster Douglas, sorry.
Douglas, yeah, he said because his mum died that week. He was like his will to he promised his mum he'd be champion. His will to win was more than Tyson's, and he won. And sometimes it is. Sometimes you've got, and like I wish sometimes I knew that. You know what I mean? But anyway, like it's mad in it, Paul. Like these little things that go on behind the scenes that you just don't know. Like, look, we didn't know that TJ Dillashaw was going to fucking shoulder was going to pop out over 2-7.
Yeah. I mean, I still knew that he was going to get fucked up, though. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew he was going to get fucked up, but he got fucked up big time, badly, though.
Yeah, bad.
Right.
What's the final fight? Meatball Molly.
Do you want to touch on Meatball now, or?
I'm trying to think who else is on the card that we were going to speak about.
Dominic Reyes versus Ryan Spann, which I think, like Reyes hasn't not been the same fighter since before John Jones. He's still asking for John Jones' rematch. He's lost 3 fights in a row.
3 fights in a row, but bro, Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Obviously, fucking Yuri Prohaska, and who was the other one that he got?
He elbow. John Jones. That's it. That's his 3.
John Jones, bro. You know what I mean, bro? I mean, those are some fucking high-level guys.
Brother, he's looked good in. He's looked good in every like that one where he got beaten by Yuri Prohaska. Okay, he's blooded up. Yeah, but
he didn't do that bad.
He don't look good until that spin elbow. And who was it? Mate.
Yeah.
And that was when he was Polish power. That was when he was serious Polish power. You know what I mean? So the fights that he's fighting, though, he's got the same sort of body as John Jones, you know. Maybe a little bit bigger, but he should be absolutely battering Ryan Spann.
Ryan Spann's a good fighter, though. But yeah, like with the light heavyweights, you never know. 1 punch changes everything. Yeah. But I think, bro, Dominic Reyes is a good fighter. Good fighter. And I think again, the fact that his last 3 losses against the guys that they were, I think he'll probably be coming in with a bit of a chip on his shoulder as well.
Yeah. So let's move on from that one because that's a bit
What's your prediction though? Might as well just throw a prediction in there.
My prediction: Dominic Reyes decision. To be fair, these type of fights like the Brad Rindle and
Brad Riddell.
But Rindle, yeah, Judge Rindle.
Judge Rindle, yeah.
Right.
I reckon, right. I'm just gonna say 2nd round TKO for Dominic Reyes.
He's like these types of fights, like the Brad, and like he's like you don't really know the like that boogie fight, so you stay a little bit like, oh, you know what I mean, sort of stay away from. But my little mate, little stocky mate, the Meatball Molly, yeah, right, fighting the prodigy child. She is the prodigy child. She's the youngest person to win. Eddie Bravo's BJJ, whatever it's called, yeah. She is really like she's going to be a problem, isn't she, Paul?
Yeah, she's a sick fighter. She's 9-1, isn't she?
9-1.
Mate, I didn't realize it. I didn't even realize, bro, mate. Molly McCann is a heavy underdog in this fight. Heavy. She's 4-1 just to win.
So basically, Erin Banfield, the whole card, Erin Banfield is the biggest favorite. She's like plus 350 to win, is she? Or plus 4?
I don't know what it is. I just know Molly McCann's 4-1 to win, which is a fucking big underdog.
Yeah. She is literally like so. Erin Banfield's the favorite, the biggest favorite to win, but because she's got the jiu-jitsu, right? The jiu-jitsu, Erin Banfield. So on the ground, she's fucking elite, like probably one of the best, arguably the best in the fucking weight class, yeah. But then Meatball has got, in my eyes, this is like, in my eye, I think Meatball's got the power, the aggression, the sort of the same height and like the form that she's on, the belief that she's on. Obviously, I think if Paddy was there, it would just be the extra fuel to the fire that she needs. But I honestly, but you know what, Paul? They've been flying some serious cats in. You know, I'm not gonna lie, some serious cats when Russia have been flying in. And, they have the not like she has put everything into this camp, and in my eyes, wins this, one more fight away from the championship. Do you agree, Paul?
I don't know whether one fight away from the championship, but I agree with everything else that you said.
If she wins this fight, she got one more fight. If she wins that, then
where's Erin Blanchfield? What's her rank in the UFC? Let's have a look.
I think it's 11.
UFC. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, well, you never know. Actually, you never know on the UFC. Let me have a look. UFC rankings. Where's Erin Blanchfield?
See, I was thinking she was going to fight Shevchenko's sister.
Yeah, but she's not even in the rankings now, so it's like
no.
Where is she? Yeah, she's ranked 12th.
Yeah, but
so
she's
I think
she like the prodigy child sort of thing.
And she Molly McCann, apart from Valentina Shevchenko, was the money fight in that division now. Yeah, Erin Blanchfield, like you said, prodigy child, 9-1, been basically steamrolling through everyone.
Hometown,
but this is the biggest fight of her career against Molly McCann. Now, skill doesn't always win you the fight, and
completely agree.
I think what you said was fucking bang on. The run that she's on, the amount of, fighting is all about momentum. It's all about confidence and it's all about momentum. The run that she's on right now, which obviously can sometimes also be a bit of a detriment because you feel like you're unbeatable when sometimes you're not. So there is that side of it. But, even without Paddy there, I just feel like she's just got that dog in her, mate. Like, she's just got that proper dog in her. I think Erin Blanchfield wouldn't have fought anyone with the aura and the fight in them like Molly McCann. And I feel like even though Erin Blanchfield is going to be in her hometown, I fucking guarantee you the crowds are going to be on Molly McCann's side. She's a big name in the UFC now. A lot of people love her.
Huge.
So I just feel like she's going to smother Erin Blanchfield. I think it's going to be a 3-round war, to be honest. I can see Molly McCann winning on points. I'd love to get a finish, but I just think, they're just going to pour their heart out in that cage. And I just feel like
keep the pace. Keep the pace, keep it in the face.
But she's proved that she can do that. I mean, in the fight, in a March card, I forget the name of the woman that she fought.
Goldie.
No, that was the July fight. She beat her in July. It was I want to say it wasn't Vivian.
Carolina.
That's it, Carolina. Yeah. That was a 3rd round TKO. Bro, the pace that she put on, like after that first round, I was like, oh, can she continue that pace? And she did for the second round. I was like, oh fuck, is she still gonna have that in the 3rd round? And she fucking came out and she got the finish. So I think Molly McCann can put on the pace that she likes to fight at for 3 rounds. And that's why I think it's going to be smothering for Erin Blanchfield. I think it's going to be hard to finish her, but yeah, I'm definitely backing Molly McCann. I think the Molly McCann train does not end.
Nope, doesn't say. Hopefully, it doesn't end. It just keeps on going.
Yeah, you want me, especially as a UK MMA fan. Like, mate, we've never had a female fighter, be as successful as she has in the UK. The star power that she's at, Of course, mate. I want to see Molly McCann fight Valentina and fucking beat her. That'd be great. For sure. Especially if she wins this fight.
Yeah. And so
Molly
little
McCann.
predictions, Paul. You're saying Molly McCann distance?
Yeah. I'd love to see a finish though.
Yeah, I'd love to see a little spin elbow again. But the chance of the spin elbow, lightning striking 3 times. What are the chances?
Mate, can you imagine if she landed it and finished her? Wow, that would be special. You'd have to name the spinning elbow the Molly McCann.
That's it, yeah. Like she's now the spinning elbow queen. Paul, one more fight before we go. The boy you've interviewed, we have to talk about him because we've got
Matt
a return.
Steamroll Frivola.
Yeah, that's the guy. Right. You're going to have to help me with this one, though. Who's he fighting, Paul? How do you pronounce his name?
So is it
Asgar.
Izatar Ottman? Is that Ottman Izatar?
Ottman, that's it. Ottman. Yeah, we're
Ottman
going to call him
Izatar.
Ottman. Yeah, it just makes it
Ottman,
easier.
yeah.
Ottman. Ottman has not been has
Yeah,
not fought in the UFC for 3 years.
in the he was meant to fight in Abu Dhabi, but they had a fucker. They had a fuck
Well,
around
yeah.
with the bags, and they weren't in the country. I think it was something like that.
Potatoes.
Yeah, well, they made fun of it today in the press conference. It was pretty funny. Not like the media
Yeah.
scrum that they do. It was pretty funny. He was saying, "Oh, if I wanted to sneak something in, I wouldn't fucking get Batman to give it to Spider-Man." It's pretty funny. You should give it a watch.
Yeah, well, that's
But
it.
yeah,
Someone
I
climbed
mean,
through the
they
window,
were.
weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, Matt and Ottman were scheduled to fight at the beginning of the year, and then he pulled out. I think he had an injury. Not Matt, that is Ottman. You know, bro, Matt is a fucking killer. He comes to fight. You know, he's been fed killers. You know, bro, I think his most notable win so far in his UFC career is the Jalen Turner win. Bro, Jalen Turner's a fucking beast, like a serious beast. And you know, I was speaking to Matt about what it means to be, you know, he's from Long Island, to be fighting at MSG. You know, I just feel like, you know, there's going to be nothing in his mind that's going to stop him. I think it's going to be all out, first round, everything he's got, first round knockout for Matt Frivola. Maybe I'm being a bit biased because I like him and I met him and I've interviewed him, but I just think, bro, he's just got that dog in him. You know, he comes to fight every time. Leaves it all in there.
I'm going to put this out there, Paul. This could be fight of the night.
It could be. It could be.
It could be in my eyes. This is the thing, though. Matt comes in like so. I know I can't really pronounce his second name because every time I see it, I see Varela. Yeah. I think he's. You don't know who you're going to get, do you, Paul? He's very unpredictable, isn't he? You don't know what type of fight you're going to be getting. It could be this, you know, like, you know, as you got a Turner, that day we got a Turner, he could possibly be, that fight could be near enough any fighter in his weight class that day. You know what I mean? But then sometimes he does come in and he's not the same. You know what I mean? But his ground game is very good, Paul. Do you agree? His ground game is very good. Whereas Ottman has got he's got the power, and as I said before, you know, I've like that next generation type fighter, and that's what Ottman was when he first joined in. He was like, everyone looked at him like, oh shit, this guy is a problem now. Like, he is a serious problem. If we get the same Ottman that we did 3 years ago, I can see a knockout for Ottman.
See, as Matt put it in my interview, he's just a righty boxer and he throws a few kicks sometimes. Matt has got the skill set to beat him anywhere it goes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Pace, power.
See, this one, yeah.
You know, he can mix it up, take it down, kicks, punches, all over. And I think, you know, like we were saying before, confidence is everything. And the team at Serongo has had a very, very successful few months. You know, Merab beating Jay Aljo beating TJ Dillashaw, one of their other training partners, Nazim. He just signed a contract with the UFC after an impressive performance on Dana White's Contender Series. You know, when you're around all your mates, all your training partners, and they're getting their wins, it's going to be impossible to get beaten in that mindset. I feel like I just feel like there's so many factors that favor Matt in this fight, and I just can just see first or second round. No, yeah, fuck it, first round. MSG, Matt Steamroll Frivola is taking the show.
Fucking love that, Paul. Love that, Paul. Love all that. That's a belief. That's what we have to, Paul. Believe, achieve, whatever else. You know what I mean?
Conceive, believe, achieve.
That's the one, Paul. Right. Paul, thank you very much for coming on. Right.
No worries, mate.
Hopefully we do a little bit better than we did last time. Yeah.
Hopefully.
We've disagreed.
Hopefully.
I like the fact that we disagreed on some things as
Well,
well.
that's
with
the whole
Paul. It's like
debate. It's a
been
bit
like,
boring, I think, if we
yeah,
both agree on the
yeah,
same
that's
shit
it.
all the
But
time.
like, don't get me wrong. There's some
Well,
stuff in I did think.
you didn't give your prediction. You didn't give your prediction for Ottman versus Matt. What's your prediction? Did you say that Ottman's going to get a knockout?
I think Ottman's going to get a knockout, but that's only
What
if
round?
we see the same Ottman. That was
No,
like
no ifs or buts. Ottman knockout. What round?
You went round 1.
Yeah.
I'll go round 1 too, brother. How about that?
Yes, mate. Well, I think that's how it's going to
Nah,
go. I think they're just both going to leave it out there.
I'm not going to go round 1. I'm going to go round 2, Paul. Yeah, round 2.
Round two.
2 knockouts. Yeah, I just had to say, if you get the same fight that we had 3 years ago, and he's still going to be good, yeah, we've got a problem back. I've got problems back in the UFC. If he gets beat, then it goes, look, you haven't been working in the past 3 years, because that's what you got to look at, Paul. What's he been doing in the last 3 years? He hasn't been fighting. He's been training, but there's a difference between training and actually being active fighter, which is Matt Favola, right?
Frivola.
Favola, right?
Frivola.
Active Favola. Like, don't even
No.
try it, Paul. Don't even try it. It's not even working. Like, it's not.
Frivola.
Yeah, that guy there, right? See, I feel like I'm disrespecting him. I don't even mean to. Yeah,
Nah, it's all right, bro.
you know what I mean. Like,
We're always gonna like. Someone's always
like,
gonna get upset at a prediction.
He's been active, and that's like, yeah. And I do want to see. I think it's going to be a really good fight. That's what I'm saying. It could actually be possibly fight of the night. Like, if it goes all the way, it could just be a banger the whole way through. You know what I mean? But as I say, I don't think it's going to go to the end. I think one person's going to go sleepy sleep.
Probably.
But Paul, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully we'll be doing this again for
282.
Yeah. With the return of Darren Till, return of Paddy the Baddy. Some very good fights on that card.
Mate, 282 is a fucking unbelievable card, but that's for another day.
That's for another day. Paul, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Anyway, people, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and peace.